Jason was given a very magical divine stuff that belonged to the Monkey King by an old man, which threw him the spiritual Chinese ancient world where he learnt KungFu from like that one of the Monkey King when he was attacked by bandits. Jason liked watching Chinese movies and all he wanted from there was to learn KungFu. He used to buy CD tapes from an old man who had an ancient stick which was given to him by his uncle 1,000 years ago. When he was coming from there, he met Crystal Kung, who greeted him asking what he was doing. He told him as he was learning KungFu and bandits found him there and teased him. They clapped him face and kicked him. They asked him to take them to the place where he was buying the movies from. They reached there and all they wanted was to rob the old man and ended up killing him. And that's how Jason was given the magical stuff, when they ran after him to kill him and cover up the evidence. The stick dragged him and threw him into the spiritual Chinese ancient world. That world had a selfish Jade army commander. Their kingdom had a magical drink known as the elixir that could make someone mortal when drunk. He had lived for 1,000 years and he was very proud in their life medicine they had. Monkey King, a great fighter, got interested in having the elixir to become mortal, but he refused him from having the drink. He told him to fight him and first defeat him if he wanted the drink. The commander's intention was to steal the Monkey King's magical stick because it was so powerful. Monkey King had all the magic he wanted to do while having the stick and was undefeated. The Jade commander tricked him to fight without the stick and Monkey King accepted the challenge. When the Monkey King learnt about the commander's intention to use the stick for evil, he picked two of his hairs which developed into Jackie Chan and Jet Li. He threw the stick 1,000 miles away and the emperor made him look like a sculpture. The commander cursed him to have his powers again when he received his stick again. When Jason woke up from the ancient world, he was naive about what was happening there. The world had no peace because of the commander and they were attacking villagers, mistreating them. One of the soldiers saw him with magical stuff their commander was looking for 1,000 years ago. He ran with his rod, but he was surrounded by the soldiers. Jackson, a drunken master who belonged to one of the heirs of Monkey King, saved Jason. Because of the stick he was holding, Jackson went away with him. They went to the bar for dinner and Jackson explained to him all about the stick he was carrying. He told him that the stick was to be taken to the rightful owner to end the Ring of the Jade world. Who was the commander fighting Monkey King? Monkey King was unbeatable with the stuff he had and the Jade army was like water to him. When the Jade Emperor was serving the elixir of immortality, Monkey King invented the banquet uninvited. The Jade Warlord refused to give him the drink, requesting for a challenge first. That's how Monkey King became a sculpture without his fighting stuff. When Jackie was still telling him about Monkey King, the Jade soldiers came and wanted to take the stuff. Jackie Chan fought for him and told him to defend himself, but he didn't know how to fight. They were rescued by a slave girl of the area who had suffered from the Jade soldiers. As they were in the forest, the slave girl told them that the stuff is supposed to be taken to the 7-element mountains. Jackie Chan feared the place because it was the most dangerous and above all he had no wine. Jason asked him for a favor to teach him how to fight and training started. As the commander was enjoying pleasure in the Element Mountains, his soldiers told him that the divine stuff to the Monkey King was seen with some boy. Early in the morning, Jason was attacked by Jet Li and he took the divine stuff away from him. They came to him, but it was too late. Jet Li had already gone with the stuff. They followed him and found his horse outside the temple. Jackie Chan entered the temple and found Jet Li praying. Jackie told him that the stuff doesn't belong to him and he should handle it over or else one was going to be hurt. They all removed their fighting styles, the monk style that belonged to Jet Li, and the drunken style that belonged to Jackie Chan. They fought and the match was a draw and the stuff went back to the owner as he was peeping to watch the fight. They came to know each other's goal to take the stuff to Monkey King. They were happy for Jason and started the journey to the Elements Mountain. Jason started training preparation to take the stuff to Monkey King. The two masters started fighting for the student because they all felt like they were above the other. They all decided to teach him as the two tigers. Jason was training both KungFu and Tai Chi all in one. They continued with the journey, but they were being hunted by the Wolf Jade's army. They passed through the desert and walked long distances to the Elements Mountain. Jason mastered his kung fu skills and was good to go. The Volf found them on their way and assured to leave them safe if they gave him the stuff. Jason refused and the war broke, everyone fighting for their lives. They escaped on their horses, but the Volf shot an arrow that could turn corners to them. The arrow hit Jackie Chan in the back and he became unconscious. They took him to the Shaolin Temple and he received treatment from there, but he never gained the strength. He was told to go the Elements Mountain to get the immortal drink, to save his master, as that was the only way to save him. Jet Li checked him, but his skills were still lacking, showing his unreadiness to deliver the stuff. Jet Li went to check on Jackie Chan. He found when Jason had already taken the stuff to the mountains to get the drink for his master. He reached the mountains with the stuff and soldiers gave him way, and he was then led to the Jade Commander. Jason took the stuff to him for an exchange with the elixir for his master, but he had already promised it to Volf, and so one of them was supposed to defeat the other to death. Jet Li hurried with the slave girl to help Jason, but it was already late. Jason was brutally given kicks and wiped by Volf. She used her hair and dragged the stuff to the commander. As they were going to chop off his head, Jet Li and the slave girl saved him. Volf ran after the elixir and the slave girl stopped her from taking it. The commander used his powers and set fire under the monkey's sculpture. Jet Li saved the Monkey King's stuff from being burnt and fought the commander. As they were still fighting, the Shaolin came with Jackie Chan on a stretcher. Jason ran to the elixir and threw it to the monks. The monks passed and headed it to Jackie Chan, and he drank it, which renewed his to life. Jet Li was badly beaten, and he threw the stuff to Jason and told him to hit it to the statue. As soon as he did it, Monkey King came back to life, and Commander became very terrified. The commander was beaten by the Monkey King brutally after hitting the slave girl. The slave girl gave the hook that kill immortals, and the commander fell on after a heavy kick. He fell in fire and he died in agony. Jason was thanked for fulfilling the prophecy of the immortals, and he asked to go home as a gift, and he was told to for himself by Monkey King. He was then sent back home by the king, and he found himself lying down. He found himself back in his body with the bandits still chasing after him. He brutally kicked the bandits and they all ran away. He went to CMZ and asked whether he was going to live and told him he was immortal. He asked him whether he delivered the stuff to the owner and it was successful. He went on with training as an expert. Thanks for watching.